So these are some mind-blowing mods in Lethal Company that did not disappoint, such as beautiful new interiors, a chance for you to steal some golden eggs, and even a variation of the Bracken that helps you instead? Yeah, let's talk about it. So the first mod on the list is a pretty big one, which is called the Biodiversity mod. It is a pretty glorious mod that aims to expand the flora and fauna of the game by adding multiple variants of pre-existing entities that are currently in the game together with some new original stuff as well. The goal of this mod is to provide unique gameplay interactions and spice up the existing gameplay loop, either by making the game more interesting or helping the players in many ways possible. Currently, it has 2 new enemy variants, 1 new sub-entity, 2 new critter variants, and 1 new scrap items with 7 variation of textures. More will be coming in the future as well. But first, let's start off by quickly showcasing the entities first. The first one is called the Alloy, which is surprisingly a pretty cool variant of the Bracken. They naturally spawn indoors and target players based on their remaining HP, which means the lower it is, the more interested this entity will be in them. Once a player is caught by an Alloy, they will be taken away, but unlike the Bracken, it is for a different reason. Now if you're wondering about this camera angle, this is because you are being dragged away while you're on your back. Now here's the crazy part. Instead of killing the player, they will be taken to and held captive at her favorite spot, where the Alloy will slowly nurse them back to health. Don't ask me why its head is shaking during this process, it's just the way it is. Now if you refuse to be held captive by her generosity, you can then try to free yourself by mashing the spacebar key. However, it won't be that easy, as she'll try to catch you anyway and keep you captive once more. From our testing so far, it doesn't seem that the Alloy will kill you even after staying in the grass for too long, so take it as an enemy type that disrupts your gameplay, especially at inconvenient times. A pretty cool variant of the Bracken, so better watch your backs if you don't want to get caught off guard. Now the other entity is called the Ogopogo, which is the other variant of the Earth Leviathan. Unlike the Alloy, it is actually a hostile enemy which spawns in the water instead, with similar behavior to the Earth Leviathans. They mainly spawn at the bottom of Vow, March, and Adamant's bodies of water and never roam outside of it, sort of like a glorified sea hydra. Anyone that is spotted by the Ogopogo near these waters will be dragged underwater, where another entity called the Vermin will slowly eat them away. Now at the time of this recording, the Vermin is currently not working, but you can expect to still lose your life by the Ogopogo simply by drowning. The only way to counter them is to run away as soon as you hear their warning signal. You can also stun it with a stun device while it is snatching you away. This is how the warning signal sounds and its magnificent sound design. Overall, great to see a cool addition to the aquatic side of entities. Now aside from the 2 new entities, there are the aforementioned 3 new critter variants as well. There is the Prototax, which is the 4-legged fungi creature that is said to be related to the spore lizards. Just like them, they are somewhat passive but will release spore clouds when damaged. They are toxic though, so beware. And then you have the Leaf Boys, which are small leaf-like creatures that likes to roam around and have fun. However, during the night time, they might attract unwanted attention through their adorable little screams. And then you finally have the Vermin, which again is not currently working but will be fixed as soon as possible. Think of them as the spawn of Ogopogo, which comes out during the flooding weather or when the player is dragged into the waters by the Ogopogo. Now to top it off, this mod also provides 7 new scrap items, which are all the same but different variations. They are simply made to commemorate the members of the biodiversity team, which I find is a pretty cool and nice gesture that they did. This literally weighs nothing and you can sell them between 0 to 100 credits if found. So despite the Vermin not working, I find that this mod to be surprisingly well done, and with a roadmap with bigger plans coming in the future as mentioned by the dev team, this is a no-brainer mod to support and try out. Obviously this mod requires everyone in the server to install it for it to work. Now maybe you're craving for new interiors. Well, this is the Unreal Interiors mod, which is a huge download that consists of 4 highly detailed interiors for Lethal Company. All 4 interiors in this mod is based on the classic first-person shooter computer game Unreal. The interiors are based around locations and rooms from the levels and have been tweaked and adapted to fit the gameplay of Lethal Company. The mod aims to invoke the atmosphere and appearance from the Unreal game. The 4 interiors are as follows. First off, we have the Regiga Mines. This interior provides a network of lava-filled caves filled with metal corridors and alien machinery. Very creepy vibe, especially with dark halls and its abandoned machinery aesthetic to it. Then we have the Chisra Temple, which resembles an Aztec-like temple with light filters from the ceilings and your path lit by torches. You don't have to worry about finding the breaker box as long as you watch your step and don't fall into the waters. We then have the Scourge Outpost, which is taken from the endgame levels in the original Unreal campaign. This is a confined space of an outpost filled with alien-like design and even laser door cells lurking within. Probably one of the coolest one compared to the rest of the interiors. And of course, we also have the Nali Haven interior, a very detailed multi-level interior with abandoned homes, bars, and places that were once lived by the Nali. Really impressed by the texture work of this entire mod overall, and you get all 4 in this one download. Yeah, for those who are looking for more interior mods, you cannot go wrong with this super high quality Unreal Interiors mod. This mod requires everyone in your lobby to install it for it to work. Now maybe you're looking for a new entity that requires high IQ plays to succeed. Well, this is the Fonk Goose mod in Lethal Company. I hope I've read the name right, but anyway, it is a new enemy which comes with a unique scrap item, which is the Golden Egg. Now starting with how the goose works. It starts off pretty passive, whereby it roams around its golden egg upon you encountering its nest. It will totally ignore you unless you either try to steal the egg or hit the goose with a weapon. Now one thing to note is that while the goose is alive, the egg will hatch and spawn another smaller goose which also spawns more eggs, and the cycle repeats. However, the limit to these goose spawns are set to 3 to not overwhelm the players. Now the main fun of this mod is how you're gonna get this golden egg back to the ship because of its high resale value. Holding the egg will trigger the goose to go wild and chase the player down, and yes, even outside the facility. You will notice when sharp teeth appear on the goose's beak. Its speed is almost as fast as the call head, but it can hardly slow itself down, so it is prone to hitting a wall or an obstacle, where it will get stunned for a short amount of time. It will even make a door explode if it rammed into it at high speeds. The goose is able to one-shot if it touches you while you're holding the egg, or 2 shots if you are not. Dropping the egg halfway is a great way to save yourself, but it will prompt the goose to drag its egg back to its nest, where you have to restart the whole process all over again. You can try to kill it as it is doable, but it's way more difficult than you think. So overall, this mod gives you a high risk, high reward gameplay loop together, especially with your teammates. What type of strategy will you enforce when trying to get the egg back into the ship? Well, the choice is totally up to you. This mod requires everyone in the lobby to install it for it to work. Now maybe you're looking for something of a much more simpler nature in terms of new monsters. Well, look no further than the Telepathic Object mod. It features a pretty new dangerous creature that lurks within, which is a humanoid creature who is dressed in a black cloak with a hoodie, sort of like a witch per se. Its name is Bura, which originates from the Stalker Call of the Pripyat game. It currently has 2 abilities that it uses. The first one is the ability to push the player away with a small shockwave, and the second one is to knock items away from their inventory. While simple as it sounds, it could prove to be a challenge to face if you are caught by it unexpectedly. Sound design wise, it's pretty good, as you can hear the scream in agony when it chases you around. Now it is also killable as showcased right here, so for those who fear that it's gonna be another one of those OP monsters, this mod might just be for you. As mentioned, it is not too over the top and some people may even call it boring, but there are definitely those who want a more simpler modded monster to add into the game without taking away from the original vibe of Lethal Company. Now FYI, the creator did mention that not all of its mutant abilities are ready yet for the sake of balancing, but it may come in the near future, so do stay tuned on it for its development. Overall, a pretty good mod for those who prefer a more simplistic tone. It requires everyone in the lobby to install it for it to work.